Okay, so we're getting close to the start of a new Rangers hockey season, and I just wanted to get here sooner. But since we're getting close, we have a lot of off-season moves to talk about. Now, I've been meaning to do this like months ago, but I've been busy making other videos, and I was on vacation and stuff, so I didn't get enough time. But now that I did, let's talk about the moves the Rangers made. Oh, Georgiev is going to the Sabres. So, there were several moves made during the season. Part of it was the big question about, there were so many people that were going to be free agents. The biggest one being Igor Shesterkin and Alexei Lafreniere. Luckily for Lafreniere, we pretty much got the extension done quick, as October 25th, a few weeks after the season began, back when we were really good, Lafreniere got extended for 7 years, worth $7 million. I mean, knowing the season that he had in the previous season, it was really good. I mean, he had potential and finally broke out in the 23-24 season, where he scored 28 goals, 29 assists, and 57 points in 82 games. Not only that, but he was a playoff performer. As in a deep playoff run, Lafreniere scored 8 goals, which ties the team in goals, 6 assists, and 14 points in 16 playoff games, which is really, really good. And he was doing so well in the beginning of the season. Of course, he slowed down this past season, as he managed to score 17 goals, 28 assists, and 45 points in 82 games. Which is not really bad, but not as good as it was the previous one. But the contract's going to start this upcoming season, so we just got hope for the best and hope that last season down year was a bit of a fluke and he's able to go back to his form. What about Igor Shesterkin? Well, I mean, he is our main guy, and there were so many times where we won games because of him, or at least make it close, especially this season. But we finally got it done. As the Rangers have gave Igor an 8-year contract worth $11.5 million. With this contract, Igor is the highest paid goalie in NHL history, beating Carey Price, who, speaking of, got traded to the Sharks. Really, Montreal? You couldn't let Carey Price finish his contract in Montreal? Again, a new contract's beginning, so... Igor had a down year last season, but mostly because the team did. But as long as he gets back to form, this should be good. So, as I mentioned, the Rangers were really good in the beginning, but then as time went by, the Rangers started to suck. It's the suck that we had to get rid of people. First, around the same time Igor got extended, we had to let someone go, and for that we got rid of Jacob Trouba, our captain. We traded him to the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for Urho Vakanainen and a 4th-round pick. Now, at first glance, you would think that it's bad. You would think that the Ducks would have won the trade. But the thing about that is that we didn't do this to get good players. We did this as a cap dump, so we can get enough cap space to extend Igor, which we did. And second, it didn't really turn out very well. I mean, like, Vakanainen wasn't supposed to be the main guy, wasn't supposed to be a regular, he was supposed to be an extra, but they kept using him, and he wasn't that bad with us. As for, it's like, he scored 1 assist in 5 games with the Ducks. Then with the Rangers, he scored 2 goals, 13 assists, and 15 points in 46 games, having the season of his career. And there was like one time where he had a 3-point game, which is insane. But you still think that Trouba was better? Well, not quite. It was like 24 games for the Rangers. He's only scored 6 assists. Then he got to the Ducks, and 53 games with the Ducks, he scored 1 goal, 7 assists, and 8 points. Trouba hadn't scored a goal until March, which is insane. Sure, he wasn't as bad as Ryan Graves with the Penguins, but still really disappointing. And knowing that Trouba is in his early 30s, this is likely the start of a slow and steady decline. Getting rid of Trouba made sense, even though the way we did it was horrible. So while this trade isn't a big win, it's definitely okay. But this next trade, Kaapo Kakko, one of our bright young stars, traded to the Seattle Kraken for Will Borgen, a 3rd-round pick, and a 6th-round pick. No big players, no 1st-round picks, not even a 2nd-round pick. But Kakko for Borgen and 3rd and a 6th. I'm not even gonna say much, so I'm just gonna let a video that I did speak for itself.
I feel like I might either check into AA, therapy, or an institute of some sort because this is crap. It's full of crap.
It's still the worst trade in Rangers history, and it's disgusting that this has even happened. And when this trade happened, I knew that Kakko was going to thrive. Borgen, despite having better defense than in Seattle, he still sucked. I mean, Kakko wasn't that bad. He got 4 goals, 10 assists, and 14 points in 30 games. It's not a lot, but still really good. Then when he got to Seattle, he scored 10 goals, 20 assists, and 30 points in 49 games, helping Kakko get a career high of 44 points, 14 goals, and 30 assists. And of course, Kakko earned himself a contract with the Kraken, as he's got a 3-year contract worth $4.5 million. So he's definitely the one that the Kraken needed, especially with the injury to Jordan Eberle. Meanwhile, Borgen sucks. Like, he has a defensive +2, which is not that bad, and he scores some points, but still, it's like he's bad on defense. It's like whenever he's on the ice, the Rangers get scored on. He got a goal and an assist with the Kraken. Then with the Rangers, he scored 4 goals, 9 assists, and 13 points in 51 games, which is decent, but still, Kakko's it doesn't take away from the fact that Borgen cost us moments, and Borgen sucks so bad that the Rangers had to extend Borgen for $4.1 million for 5 years. They're too desperate. Like, seriously, 5 years, $4.1 million for Will Borgen? and you give him a no trade clause this upcoming season. It's like trading Kako for Borgen is bad enough, but to give him this gross overpayment as well, it's like you have given that extension to the wrong Will. You should be giving that contract to Will Cooley, not Will Borgen. Like, Drury did not learn from the Buchnevich trade, he did not learn from the Barkley Goodrow signing, and he especially did not learn from the Capo Kako trade. Like, this contract is why we get lockouts. This contract is why we lost many great players in the past. Like, fourth liners getting $3.6 million per year for 6 years, and shitty defenders getting $4 million per year for 5 years. Like, Borgen is making more money than Braden Schneider, who is so much better than Borgen. It's like, Drury continues to defy logic. Like, Kako complains about being benched despite being a bright spot on the team, gets traded as punishment. Jimmy Vesey, Zach Jones, and Calvin DeHaan complain about being constantly scratched, and they're gone. While Keandre Miller and Borgen gives the puck away, cost us the game, no scratches. It's like Borgen gives Montreal the puck twice to cost us the game. Give him a $4.1 million contract for 5 years. Like, not even Jeff Gordon would do these things. It's like this contract is gonna age poorly. And there were more moves made. This time it was a trade. It's like before the game against the Avalanche, after extending Borgen, and before having him do this after we extend him.
No! 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 No!
With 14.7 seconds to go.
The Rangers made a trade. They have traded Ryder Korczak to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for Lucas Edmonds. Drafted 75th overall in 2021, Korczak looked like a promising player leading up to the draft. He was even more so after the draft, as in the WHL in the 2022-23 season, Korczak scored 28 goals, 41 assists, and 69 points in 48 games. Nice. He is just as good in the playoffs as he scored 3 goals, 8 assists, and 11 points in 10 playoff games. Things were looking great for him. He would play for the Wolfpack. But unfortunately, he has been disappointing. It's like 2 seasons ago, Korczak scored 9 goals, 11 assists, and 20 points in 67 games. He would score a goal and an assist in 10 playoff games. Definitely underwhelming. But this season with the Wolfpack, he scored 3 goals, 8 assists, and 11 points in 35 games. Earlier, he was projected to finish with 6 goals. But now he's even worse with the Lightning, as in just 10 games in Syracuse, he scored 2 goals, 2 assists, and 4 points in 10 games. So he pretty much has scored 5 goals, 10 assists, and 15 points. He only made 1 playoff appearance and did nothing. It's definitely a big disappointment. Like, trading him makes sense, but to trade for Lucas Edmonds, like, drafted 86 overall by the Lightning in 2022, Edmonds, like Korczak, was promising as leading up to the draft. Edmonds scored 34 goals, 79 assists, and 113 points. It's 68 games in the OHL. And he scored 6 goals, 5 assists, and 11 points in 11 playoff games. It's like, that was really good, and it looked like a steal for the Lightning. Like Kucherov, Point, and Cirelli. He went to the minors immediately, and he looked good. He scored 15 goals, 12 assists, and 27 points in 49 games for the Crunch. Not as good as 113 points in 68 games, but still good. 2 seasons ago, he dropped as he scored 9 goals, 7 assists, and 16 points in 45 games. This past season is even worse. 1 goal, 4 assists, and 5 points in 26 games. Now, the question is, how did he do with the Wolfpack? Slightly better, as in 14 games with the Wolfpack, he scored 4 goals, 2 assists, and 6 points. Finishing up with 5 goals, 6 assists, and 11 points. It's unfortunate. Like, we traded a struggling Ryder Korczak, and for struggling Lucas Edmonds. It's like, it would have been nice if we got Connor Sheary, Dylan Duke, Derek Pouliot, Jujhar Khaira, or Daniel Walcott back. It's like, things were looking bad for the Rangers, but we needed to make big moves. And we did. A few days after, going into February, the Rangers have made a trade. They traded Philip Hedl, which is sad, Victor Mancini, which is sad, and a conditional first-round pick. A first-round pick, which we would win and would be using if we didn't trade it to the Flyers at the draft. So for that trade, we got Jackson Dorrington, Eric Brandstrom, but most importantly, the return of JT Miller. JT Miller is back! We got JT Miller from the Canucks! JT Miller is now a Ranger again! Let's go! Now, I've already made a video talking about the JT Miller trade, but it was during the season. You're probably wondering how the season ended there. It's like, Miller was really good for the Canucks. He scored 9 goals, 26 assists, and 35 points in 40 games, which is underwhelming but not bad. But he got better with the Rangers. Like, he scored 2 goals in his return.
Around that. Oh, yeah! Miller!
Yay! Good start. Yay, Miller.
Scored first goal in Rangers' return.
What's a mini slap shot?
Welcome back, JT. Welcome back. Yeah.
Yay!
Miller again.
Wow, good job.
It's a power play goal.
And in the end, Miller scored 13 goals, 22 assists, and 35 points in 32 games in his return to the Rangers. Definitely one of our best players, and one of the reasons why we had a chance in the playoffs. It's like, when Miller was with us, he was a bottom 6 guy, but now he has back, and he's really good, and he's gonna be with us for 5 more years. And then there's Eric Brandstrom. 3 goals, like I mentioned, is that his time with the Canucks was underwhelming. But now, how did he do with the Rangers? He only played 6 games with the Wolfpack and scored 1 goal, 3 assists, and 4 points. And then after that, when he got to Buffalo, he played better when we traded him to Buffalo, as he scored 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points in 13 games. So he's definitely good in the minors, but he barely did much with us. But now what about the new young guy, Jackson Dorrington? It's like he was finishing college. It's like in the NCAA, he got 2 goals, 13 assists, and 15 points in 37 games, which is good. And then we brought him to the Wolfpack. In 9 games, he got a goal and an assist. But it's interesting to see how he does later on. But now you're probably wondering about the Canucks' returns. Probably asking how Hito and Mancini are doing. Like, Hito Laikako was not bad with us. He got 11 goals, 9 assists, and 20 points in 41 games. But also like Kako, ever since he moved to another team, he became better, as he scored 2 goals, 4 assists, and 6 points in 15 games, and he definitely would have got more, except he got another concussion. It's like the Rangers knew it was going to happen. Meanwhile, Mancini played more games for the Canucks than the Rangers. Like, in 16 games with the Canucks, he got a goal, 2 assists, and 3 points. About similar to us. So he finished with 2 goals, 6 assists, and 8 points. But he did play in the minors. In 7 games, he got a goal, 2 assists, and 3 points. But then we had the deep playoff run. In 24 playoff games for the Abbotsford Canucks, he got 3 goals, 5 assists, and 8 points in 24 games. And he helped the Canucks win the Calder Cup. He wasn't that big, but he definitely had a great end to the season. He's definitely going to be in the lineup more. Then we had the trade deadline. We were at a point where whoever is a massive liability has got to go. Like, there were so many people that I expected to leave, and all but one came true. It's like Ryan Lindgren is not as good as he was. Jamie Vesey is barely playing much. Riley Smith has been underwhelming, and Miller sucks. Keandre Miller sucks. And most of the moves have happened. First, Ryan Lindgren, Jimmy Vesey, and Hank Kemp were traded to the Avalanche for Calvin DeHaan, Juuso Parssinen, a 2nd and a 4th round pick. And not only that, but the Rangers retained 50% of Lindgren's salary. Like, Lindgren struggled, but then he played better later on. Like, he got 2 goals, 17 assists, and 19 points in 54 games. Somehow getting a career high, despite his early struggles. He barely did much for the Avalanche. In just 18 games, he scored 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 points. He got 3 assists in 7 playoff games. And now the Avalanche lost him, as he signed a 4-year, $18 million contract with the Seattle Kraken. Some consider it a big overpayment, but hopefully Lindgren can return to form. As I mentioned, Vesey barely got any chance in the lineup this time around. So when he left, I hope that he got more playing time. But nope, it wasn't the case, as he only played 10 games for the Avalanche, scoring a goal, an assist, and 2 points. And his struggles were so unfortunate that he's now playing in the National League, likely putting an end to his NHL career. Very sad. Meanwhile, Hank Kempf finally got to play in the minors. As 4 games, he got an assist. Yet to get a goal. He got an assist in 2 playoff games as well. Let's look at the picks that we got back. It's like Calvin DeHaan. Like DeHaan was selected 12th overall by the New York Islanders in 2009. You know, the year where they drafted John Tavares, which is where he spent most of his career. Like fun fact, Calvin DeHaan was originally a draft pick from the Minnesota Wild, but the pick got traded for a first, a third, and a 7th. That first pick that Wild got was used to select Nick Leddy, who would almost immediately get traded to the Blackhawks for Cam Barker. The third pick was used to select Matt Hackett, a goalie who didn't do too well. As for the 7th round pick, it was used to select Eric Haula. If that wasn't insane enough, the pick that the Islanders had before trading it to Minnesota was also received in the trade. It started in San Jose, then went to Tampa Bay, then Ottawa, then the Islanders, then Columbus, and then back to the Islanders. All in the span of a year. It's like so many times. Like, the most notable names involved in all those trades include Dan Boyle, Matt Carl, Andre Mazzaros, Philip Kuba, Mike Comrie, Chris Campoli, Dean McAmmond, Anders Nielsen, Casey Zizekas, Cal Palmieri, John Moore, Chris Pronger, Joffrey Lupul, and Luca Spiza. And the funny thing about it all is that Nick Leddy, Cal Palmieri, and Luca Spiza would eventually become Islanders later on. Casey Zizekas and Cal Palmieri are still with the Islanders this very day. Anyways, back to Calvin DeHaan. Before Pelech and Pollock, there was Calvin DeHaan and Travis Hamonic. Sure, he wasn't a scoring defenseman, but he did get 5 goals, 20 assists, and 25 points in the 2016-17 season. Plus, he is very good in defense. He would lead the Islanders to sign a 4-year deal with the Hurricanes in 2018, but he would then be traded a year later along with Alexei Sarella, who was the guy who assisted on Kasperi Kapanen's golden goal in 2016, traded to the Chicago Blackhawks for Anton Forsberg and Gustav Forsling. Forsberg would get moved around until he goes to Ottawa. He did well, but recently he got less playing time, and then he got traded to the Canes. As for Forsling, who was a draft pick for the Canucks, he played in the minors and was put on waivers after 1 season. He would then get picked up by the Florida Panthers in 2021. And he hasn't done anything after that. Nope. Nothing at all. DeHaan would play with Chicago, then return to Carolina, then went to Tampa Bay, all before going to Colorado. He was decent, but a 3rd pairing defenseman at best, a 7th defenseman at worst. It was strange to get him since we had Miller, Jones, and Vakanainen, but he could be useful when he was needed. That is, if he ever did. Like his first game, he got an assist, but he only played 3 games, and he barely got healthy scratched. So much so that he was upset with the lack of ice time, and that he was treated like garbage. As of right now, DeHaan is still a free agent, and as a guy in his mid-30s who had a back end of his career over, he's likely going to be leaving the NHL, playing in a different league. But then there's Juuso Parssinen, drafted 210th overall by the Nashville Predators in 2019. He's pretty decent. he scored in his NHL debut in 2022 against the Rangers. Foreshadowing, considering that someone else scored in his NHL debut against the Rangers, specifically in 2015. His rookie season happened to be his best season as he scored 6 goals, 19 assists, and 25 points in 45 games. Despite that, he got less playing time, and when 2024 almost ended, he, along with next year's 7th round pick, was traded to the Avalanche in exchange for Andrei Pavel and a 2027 3rd round pick. Just like Calvin DeHaan, getting Juuso Parssinen is confusing. Like, I get he is decent, but to get him when we already have Mika Zibanejad, JT Miller, Vincent Trocheck, Sam Carrick, and Johnny Brzezinski as our centers, like, he can provide depth, but where were we going to put him? Well, apparently we found a way. It's like, he has done well for the Rangers. For the Predators, he got 2 goals, 3 assists, and 5 points in 15 games. Then with the Avalanche, he got 2 goals, 4 assists, and 6 points in 22 games. Then with the Rangers, he got 2 goals, 3 assists, and 5 points in 11 games. Finishing the season with 6 goals, 10 assists, and 16 points. Again, decent, but still strange to have him. It's like, the trade is weird, but it gets better, as you're probably wondering about the draft picks. With the second round pick, the Rangers have drafted Malcolm Spence, an exciting up-and-coming player. I've already talked about him in the draft video, so feel free to check that out. As for the 4th round pick, the Rangers used it to select Mikael Eriksson. So it's just a decent trade. It's like we traded players for the Avalanche and 2 of those players are gone. So in hindsight, is Juuso Parssinen and draft picks for Hank Kampf. It's like the biggest players of the trade, and they're gone. And then we made another move at the trade deadline. It's like we got Riley Smith, and he was supposed to be the piece needed for the top 6. However, Riley Smith was disappointing. It was like, in 58 games with the Rangers, Smith scored 10 goals, 19 assists, and 29 points. It's decent, but that is not the reason we traded for him in the first place. Like, he was supposed to solidify the top 6. A perfect player to play with Kreider and Zibanejad. But just like those 2, things didn't work out for him. Especially since he was healthy scratched multiple times. Like, I knew he would be gone, but where we sent him to is interesting. It's like, we have sent Smith back to the Vegas Golden Knights. You know, the place where he had the most success. Not only that, but the Rangers retained 50% of Smith's salary. So, Smith is back in Vegas. In return, the Rangers got Brendan Brisson and a 3rd round pick that Vegas got from the Sharks in the Tomas Hertl trade. And Smith played better with Vegas, as in 21 games, he scored 3 goals, 8 assists, and 11 points, finishing up with 14 points. And he pretty much had the exact same stats that he had with the Penguins. And in the playoffs, he was not as good as usual, but he still got 3 goals, 1 assist, and 4 points in 11 games. And Vegas is happy to get Smith back, and he signed a 1-year extension with Vegas. So, welcome back to Vegas, Smith. Meanwhile, there's Brendan Brisson. It's like drafted 29th overall by Vegas in 2020, Brisson only had limited time with Vegas. In the minors, he has been good, as his best season came 2 seasons ago when he scored 19 goals, 19 assists, and 38 points in 52 games. He did well that he finally played in Vegas. He scored 2 goals, 6 assists, and 8 points in 15 games, which is very promising. However, he dropped off as he spent the majority in the minors. Past season in the minor leagues for Vegas, he scored 5 goals, 14 assists, and 19 points in 45 games. And he did nothing with Vegas this time around. And with that trade, not only do the Vegas Golden Knights only have 1 first-round pick left with the team in a span of 8 years, which would be Trevor Connolly, but the Rangers have added more from the great 2020 draft class, like Alexei Lafreniere, Braden Schneider, Will Cooley, Dylan Garand, Brett Berard, Matt Rempe, Hugo Olas, and Brendan Brisson. The Rangers continue to win in the 2020 draft class. And in case you ask how he did with the Wolfpack, Brisson scored 2 goals, 4 assists, and 6 points in 16 games. Well, not as good as he did in Vegas, but still really good. As for the 3rd round pick, the same day we got the pick, and then we immediately traded it to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for Philip Hedl. No, we traded for Carson Soucy. Really? Carson Soucy? Like, drafted 137th overall by the Minnesota Wild in 2013, Soucy is a decent defenseman with very good defense. He spent the majority of his career with the Wild from 2017 to 2021. Then in 2021, Soucy was taken in the Seattle Kraken expansion draft. He happened to have his best season in his first season with the Kraken, as he scored 10 goals, 11 assists, and 21 points in 64 games. Sure, not big numbers, but 10 goals is good. After 2 years, he went to the Vancouver Canucks. He didn't do too well in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he took off as he scored a goal, 4 assists, and 5 points in 12 playoff games with the Canucks. The trade doesn't make too much sense, like getting Carson Soucy when we already have Keandre Miller, Zach Jones, and Earl Vakanainen as our left defenders, plus the recently acquired Calvin DeHaan. I know we need better defense, and Carson Soucy is not too bad, other than the fact that he was a -13. But if you wanted Soucy badly, you should have traded Keandre Miller. And Soucy didn't really do good. Like, he got a goal in his first game.
Here comes Soucy with a shot to save me. Carson Soucy gets in on the action.
Through. Where is it? Trickling.
Oh my God! It's in.
Right now,
Did they blow the whistle?
I thought the whistle
No.
blew, but you can, even though the whistle blew, Sam, I think that they have the option of saying
It
was
definitely is in.
play. And I think that.
And
even though they
Carson
blew that,
Soucy
the
took the
whistle
shot.
went over the goal line.
Here's Gislain Bear.
Good goal. And it's Carson Soucy with his first goal in his Ranger debut.
Good job,
Who
Carson.
is the New York Ranger? Gets the goal, and the Rangers take a 1-0 lead. How about that?
Take your striped shirt back.
Got 2 assists and 3 points in 16 games. But like Borgen and Keandre Miller, Soucy sucked at defense. Unfortunately, we're going to have Soucy return for another year. At least it's not 5 years. And then we made one more trade. Remember Eric Brandstrom? Well, he's bad now, and we traded him to the Buffalo Sabres in exchange for Nick Kubel. Drafted 48th overall by the Philadelphia Flyers in 2014, Nick Kubel had a decent career. When he was drafted, he was a player who could score a lot and he gets a lot of points. By the time he came to the NHL, he was disappointed. Although he spent the majority of his career with the Flyers, he has been a fourth line guy. After 7 games getting 1 assist with the Flyers in 2021, he would be put on waivers and he would get claimed by the Colorado Avalanche. It just so happens to be his best season as he scored 11 goals, 11 assists, and 22 points in 62 games for the Avalanche. He would end up winning a Stanley Cup with the Avalanche and nearly broken in the process. He would then play with the Leafs before being put on waivers and getting picked up by the Washington Capitals. After 2 years with the Capitals, he would play with the Buffalo Sabres. He didn't do too well and would get put on waivers again. This time, no one picked him up, and he would go to the minors, where he scored 4 goals, 4 assists, and 8 points in 12 games. So for the first time, Kubel has been traded. Kubel played 3 games with us. He did nothing with us. But what about the Wolfpack? 3 games with us, only 1 goal. And that's it. So we finished off with 5 goals, 4 assists, and 9 points. And now he's signed with the Minnesota Wild. So that was all the trades, but that was not all that happened at the trade deadline. There was one more move made. Remember Earl Vakanainen? You know, he's been playing better than Jacob Trouba. Like, he wasn't supposed to be a regular, but he can be useful when needed. And the Rangers knew that as they extended Vakanainen for 2 years. Vakanainen got a 2-year deal worth $1.5 million per year. It's like, really? I mean, it is confusing, but at least the contract is reasonable and not a gross overpayment like Will Borgen. Seriously, I'm not gonna let this down here. And there were more moves, as a few days after the trade deadline, the Rangers have extended Jonathan Quick for 1 more year, again, for $1 million. It's like, Quick hasn't been as good as previous, but mostly because the Rangers suck. But Quick is still good to be around. And he got 400 wins, first American-born goalie to do it.
Late.
Yep.
They're on their feet at the Garden. Yeah.
And he did it! Jonathan Quick finally got 400 wins!
Yeah, Quickie. Yay, Beezy.
Beasley didn't even do anything,
He
though.
got his 100th,
No, he didn't.
what do you mean, no he didn't?
No, he didn't get his 100th goal.
Oh, he needed a goal, okay.
The Rangers power play comes alive. And the Rangers goaltender.
And our 3-game losing streak is over.
Yay.
No other American-born goaltender has ever reached 400 career wins.
400 wins. I was thinking that Beasley needed a win, but he needed a goal of his own to get
By an
100.
American-born goalie.
Will this be his last season in the NHL? Only time will tell, but it's good to have Jonathan Quick back for another year. Despite the moves made in the trade deadline, it backfired and the Rangers missed the playoffs. But shortly before the season ended, the Rangers made another signing, and that extended Anton Bleed for 2 more years. Normally, it would be surprised since he's usually a bottom sixer in the AHL. But this season was the best of his career. As in the past season, Bleed scored 19 goals, 17 assists, and 36 points in 71 games. he tied the Wolfpack in scoring with Alex Belzile, who's gone, and third in points for the Wolfpack. And he played a big leadership role for the team. That is definitely great. Definitely a wise decision to keep him. So the season is over and we go into the off season. It's like the decisions were clear. It's like we already got one done. It's firing Peter Laviolette and then getting Mike Sullivan, which is good, even though the back end and even though we also have David Quinn and other mediocre coaches working for him. So yeah, David Quinn is back. Like why? But then we've got more things to plan. The goal of this offseason was to extend Will Cooley, extend Adam Edstrom, extend Matt Rempe, and extend Zach Jones, and get rid of Keandre Miller. And the Rangers did make a move, and that is trading Chris Kreider and a 4th-round pick to the Anaheim Ducks for Terrence and a 3rd-round pick. Like I already made a video talking about the Chris Kreider trade, and then I'm sad. But I didn't go in full depth about the returns that we got. Drafted 59th overall by the Ducks in 2023. Terry Terrence is actually good there. It's like his best season came 2 seasons ago where he scored 29 goals, 23 assists, 51 points in 56 games. And he scored 30 goals the season before. This past season he was good as well, as he scored 20 goals, 19 assists, and 39 points in 45 games. And he helped win gold in the United States under 18 and back-to-back gold medals in the World Junior Hockey Championship for USA. He definitely looks pretty exciting. As for the 4th-round pick, we got the 4th-round pick. Remember that pick we got from the Ducks for the Trouba and Vakanainen trade? That one is gone, but we got a 3rd-round pick from them, and with that pick, the Rangers drafted Artem Gonchar. Yes, is a relative of Sergei Gonchar. So we got good, promising players in return, but it still sucks that Chris Kreider is gone. So the off-season is already on the bad start, with more reasons than just stupidly extending Chris Drury, despite him burning the team to the ground, by the same guy who would fire the Knicks coach despite the Knicks going to the Eastern Conference Finals. But it does get better as the Rangers extended Juuso Parssinen for 2 years. Like, sure, it is not as bad as Borgen's contract, but really, bringing him to the team never made sense, and extending him is pretty much the same. Like, we already have the centermen needed. We have Vincent Trocheck, JT Miller, Mika Zibanejad, and Sam Carrick. And if that is enough, we also have Johnny Brodzinski. Like, not only that, but Parssinen, of course, sucked for the Rangers. Like, he only showed up for 2 games. 2 games, and you're still going to extend him. And don't give me he hasn't played a full season yet. Maybe a full season is what he needs. Bullshit. He hasn't been good with us. He's a bottom 6er, and that's it. Like, if you're going to keep Parssinen, you should have gotten rid of Mika Zibanejad. You have to. That's how it works. And it should have, because where are you gonna put him? God damn it, Drury, why do you learn nothing? But don't worry, it gets better this time. As in June, Matt Rempe got extended, which happened the day after the Panthers won back-to-back Stanley Cups. They extended him for 2 more years. It is really good news. Like, Rempe played better this season as he scored 3 goals, 5 assists, and 8 points in 42 games. He helps the team win, and who doesn't love it when Rempe gets in a fight? Definitely great to have him back. 1 free agent sign, 3 to go. And it goes by quickly, as the Rangers have also extended Adam Edstrom for 2 years. Thank God we got Edstrom back. He did well for the Rangers. Like, this past season, he scored 5 goals, 4 assists, and 9 points in 51 games. It's great to see him contribute, especially when he destroys people in fights. Unfortunately, his great season was cut short due to a season-ending injury. I was worried he was going to be gone, but thank God he isn't. And he has the same contract as Matt Rempe. There's going to be a phrase that I would be saying about Edstrom and Rempe, but by the time I record this video, it's on 9/11. So I'm not gonna give them the nicknames this time, even though they're both very big, like almost 7 feet. But this is great. All we gotta do is extend Cooley and Jones, get rid of Keandre Miller, and we should have hope next season. And that leads us to free agencies. Like, when it happened, I was scared. Free agency, to many it was big, but for the Rangers, it was scary. Like, I was so scared. Like, I was worried that the Rangers were going to do something stupid. Like, let's say, let Will Cooley walk so we can extend Keandre Miller long term. Trade in Braden Schneider to the Islanders to bring Tony DeAngelo back. Like, after all, we chose to qualify Miller over Zach Jones, so we were already off to a bad start. It's like I was watching Free Agents Frenzy. It's like, I couldn't stay the whole time because I was out, gotta have lunch in Dallas barbecue with Mom. But then I came back and watched the rest. And as soon as I started re-recording again, this happened. Rangers sign. Rangers. There's a Rangers. Is it Will Cooley? Please, let's see who we do. Who did the Rangers get? Who did the Rangers just sign? Yes! Gavrikov for 7 years, $7 million. Vladislav Gavrikov is a Ranger. My God. The Rangers got the best defensive UFA in the market. Vladislav Gavrikov. Vladislav Gavrikov is a Ranger. The top defenseman in free agency, and he is ours. And he is ours for 7 years for $7 million. Drafted 159th overall in 2015, Gavrikov started his career with the Columbus Blue Jackets. After finishing with the KHL, he made his appearance with the Blue Jackets in the playoffs in 2019. He played 2 games. Nothing special. Pretty much like the Blue Jackets postseason. I mean, the Columbus Blue Jackets only won a playoff series for the first and only time in franchise history. Yes, they did win a series against the Leafs in 2020, but it was in a playoff round that happened due to COVID, so that doesn't count. And they did it by sweeping the President Trophy winners, the Tampa Bay Lightning. who would then win back-to-back Stanley Cups and then make it to the finals again by beating the Rangers. He did well for the Blue Jackets. His best season came in the 2021-22 season where Gavrikov scored 5 goals, 28 assists, and 33 points in 80 games. Of course, his highest goal total was 6, which he got 2 seasons in a row after that. Then in 2023, at the trade deadline, Gavrikov, along with Jonas Korpisalo, were traded to the Los Angeles Kings in exchange for the great goalie in LA, Jonathan Quick, and draft picks, which is great news to the Blue Jackets. Wait, they immediately traded Quick to the Vegas Golden Knights? They traded him for Michael Hutchinson? So in hindsight, the Blue Jackets traded Gavrikov and Korpisalo for literally nothing. I know they got draft picks, but still. Gavrikov continued to do well with the Kings for the next 2 seasons. We talked about the scoring, but what about the defense? At the start, he was in the negatives, but most of it was because he was on the Blue Jackets. But as soon as he came to LA, his defense improved massively. His best defensive season came the past season where Gavrikov was a plus 26. A plus 26. Like, this is huge because we lacked defense this past season, and Gavrikov is exactly the guy we need. And we got him. He is ours. Knowing the contract, it means that Gavrikov will be paired with Adam Norris-Fox. Like, hours, if that isn't good enough, hours after the signing, I found a video on Gavrikov's defensive highlights. Like, look at this. Defense. He's number 84. Yeah, it's like Gavrikov just goes directly at the person with the puck and makes it hard for them to do anything. See, look. Like, if Miller was there, they would go past him easily, or they didn't have to do nothing, and Miller would give the opposition the puck. But Gavrikov is like, once he's on you, you're not allowed to do anything. It's like if the Florida Panthers was a man. Oh, show his highlights in the playoffs. Ooh, we nearly scored there, but Gavrikov got the stick in just in time. Ooh, what a block. Look, he just stopped Connor McDavid. He is really defensive. He makes impossible saves. He is all over the place. But most importantly, once you have the puck, he is on you. Vladislav Gavrikov is pretty much if the Florida Panthers was a man. And I can't wait to see him play with the Rangers. Like, our defense have massively improved due to this sign alone. Now, can we improve it even more by getting rid of Keandre Miller? It is official. Keandre Miller has officially been traded to the Carolina Hurricanes. So Miller is gone. And what we got in return is Scott Morrow, a first and a second round pick. I mean, already first round and a second round pick, that's really good. And then we got Scott Morrow. He's a young prospect who looks good. Like, he technically made his debut last year with the Hurricanes. Of course, we won't be able to use him since we already got the right-handed defenseman we need. But if Fox, Schneider, or Borgen were to be out due to injuries or something, we can use Scott Morrow as our guy to fill in the gap. Or Matthew Robertson, which they've extended. So with Vladislav Gavrikov coming in, a defender has got to go. Will Borgen unfortunately starts his massive contract this upcoming season. We extended Earl Vakanainen, and Carson Soucy has 1 year left and a modified no-trade clause. So and it was look like it was going to be between Jones and Miller, with Miller winning it. Like, even before Gavrikov came to the fray, Keandre Miller is the guy I wanted to leave. He has statistically been the worst defenseman for the Rangers. Terrible on defense, constantly giving pucks to the opposition, costing us games. Like, I don't care if it was one bad season. I don't care if he's 25. He sucks and he needs to leave. And the moment Gavrikov came to the Rangers, I knew his time is up. Despite being qualified over Zach Jones, the Rangers did the thing I wanted to happen. The Rangers have traded Keandre Miller to the Carolina Hurricanes. So his time as a Ranger is over, which means we lost every single first round pick between 2017 and 2019. Most of them were bust, but few left when they shouldn't have. I definitely won't miss Miller at all. Like, good riddance to him. In return, the Rangers got a conditional first round pick, a second round pick, and Scott Morrow. For the conditional first round pick, either we get the Hurricanes pick in 2026 or the Stars pick that the Hurricanes got in the Rantanen Stankoven trade in 2027. As for Scott Morrow, an interesting get. He was drafted 40th overall by the Hurricanes in 2021. He made his debut in 2024. This past season was interesting for Morrow. In the minors, Morrow scored 13 goals, 26 assists, and 39 points in 52 games. That is impressive. So impressive that he was called up near the end of the season. And in his season with the Hurricanes, Morrow scored a goal, 5 assists, and 6 points. In 14 games. That is actually really good. And he played in the playoffs. He did nothing in the playoffs since he was the extra defenseman, but he did put up big minutes. Okay, so he barely played as much, but his numbers look really good. The unfortunate thing is that since Scott Morrow is a right-handed defenseman, we have no room to make him a regular. though I would have put him over Will Borgen. We could at least make him the 7th defenseman, and I know that if we were to lose Fox, Schneider, or Borgen due to injuries or any reason, Morrow would be the guy to fill in the gap, or Matthew Robertson. And imagine if he can play a lot of games for us. Morrow may become a massive steal for the Rangers. He could be a big player that the Hurricanes gave up too soon. We'll see what happens in the future, but no matter what happens, we'll eagerly swallow that deal, as long as we don't have to deal with Keandre Miller anymore. And speaking of Miller, he still needs a new contract. After being traded to the Hurricanes immediately gave Miller a new contract. Keandre Miller have signed an 8-year contract worth $7.5 million per year. 8 years, $7.5 million for a defenseman that sucks. Are the Hurricanes really that desperate? Like, I'm not even kidding though. With this contract, Keandre Miller is the highest paid defenseman of the Hurricanes. Miller is making more money than Jacob Slavin. It hasn't even begun, yet I'm already laughing. It already looks bad. The Rangers continue to own the Hurricanes. Have fun with his defense and decline in abilities, Hurricanes. And thank you for coming to our games. The Hurricanes signed Keandre Miller to an 8-year contract worth $7.5 million. An 8-year, $7.5 million contract for Keandre Miller, a defenseman that sucks. Like, really? Are they really that desperate for Miller? Like, with that signing, Miller is now the most expensive defenseman with the Hurricanes. Keandre Miller has more money than Jacob Slavin. Like, what? The Rangers continue to destroy the Hurricanes. Like, good riddance to Miller. Hurricanes, have fun with his declining abilities. First we got Gavrikov, now we got rid of Keandre Miller. Like, our defense has improved massively from these moves. And we would have improved them even more if Borgen and Soucy weren't still here, but we are stuck with them. And yet, there are still some Ranger fans that aren't happy about it. Some are unhappy that Gavrikov replaced Miller since he is older than Miller. To those fans, really? You're mad that we replace a 25-year-old that sucks for a 29-year-old that is really good? Though, like, if you're complaining about this even now, you clearly have never watched enough hockey to fully understand. This past season, as I said, Gavrikov was a plus 26. A plus 26. Meanwhile, Miller was a 0. And he spent most of the season in the minus. Miller either stands around doing nothing or gives the puck away to the other team. Like, if those counted for assists, Miller would have more points than Adam Norris Fox. Probably beat Brian Leach as well. For Gavrikov, once you get the puck, he is on you. He makes it impossible for you to do anything, and he makes your life a living hell. Like the Florida Panthers. Like, I don't care about the age difference. Gavrikov is a massive improvement over Miller. Like, It is going to work. You just wait. Now all we have left to do is to extend Will Cooley, and our off-season will be complete. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. Will Cooley is coming back. We just signed Will Cooley for 2 years of almost $4 million. The biggest free agent we needed to extend, and we did. But ladies and gentlemen, we did. We waited a while, and it finally happened. The wait is over. The biggest thing I wanted this offseason and free agency has happened. Will Cooley is coming back to the Rangers. 2 years, almost $4 million. Let's go! He had his best season of his career this season. 20 goals, 25 assists, 45 points. That's really good. He was the biggest bright spot for the Rangers, especially when the Rangers sucked. It made the most sense to bring him back, and we did. Our off-season is pretty much complete. Almost everything I wanted to happen this off-season has happened, excluding extending Juuso Parssinen and getting rid of Chris Kreider. Like Matt Rempe, extended. Adam Edstrom, extended. Keandre Miller, gone. Will Cooley, extended. The only thing that didn't happen that I wanted to happen was extending Zach Jones. Instead, Jones is gone. But at least we made up for it for bringing in Vladislav Gavrikov. The Rangers have won the off-season. The best case scenario has happened. Chris Drury is not an idiot this time. The Rangers have hope again. The Rangers are coming back, baby. Let's go, Rangers. Oh yeah, Zach Jones. The only question is, where does Zach Jones go from here? After coming off his best season of his career, a goal, 10 assists, and 11 points in 46 games, somebody wants Zach Jones. The good news is that Jones found somewhere else to play. The bad news, he has to play for the Buffalo Sabres. The Rangers have finished the job. They killed him. And an exciting prospect that we could be using has been wasted. He should have come back to us. He should be here with us. But the Rangers don't see the talent and hard work Jones puts in every night. They think he is too small. Zach Jones deserves better than this. Hopefully he gets more playing time than he deserves in Buffalo. Though it's hardest since they got all the left defenders needed. I'm not expecting them to be Rasmus Dahlin or Owen Power, but hopefully he can help Buffalo. But I'm telling you, the Rangers are going to regret letting Zach Jones walk. He's going to haunt him. I kind of wanted Jones to go to Montreal though, because I know if Jones played with the Canadiens, not only will Marty St. Louis give him big defensive minutes, he would make sure that Zach Jones plays on the first pair. He would do everything to turn Jones into Lane Hudson 2.0. But either way, good luck, Zach Jones. Hopefully you get the ice time you deserve. And I hope you have a great career. About the off-season being over is what I would say for the Rangers. But we still made more sign-ins. The Rangers have signed Derek Pouliot for 2 years. He was drafted 8th overall by the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2012. He impressed in the minors in 2014-15 season, and he got called up by the Penguins. He barely did much with the Penguins, but it seems that the goals he did score were either game winners or important goals. Although he wasn't a regular, Pouliot would win the Stanley Cup with the Penguins in 2016. He would have won it again in 2017, but he barely played much, so he doesn't get a name on the cup this time around. After the Penguins won their second straight cup, Derek Pouliot was traded to the Vancouver Canucks. In his first season as a Canuck, Pouliot was a full-time NHLer, and in that season he scored 3 goals, 19 assists, and 22 points in 71 games. Not only that, but Pouliot ended up setting an NHL record with 5 goals scored from the start of their career, all of them being game-winning goals. His first 5 goals of his career were all game winners. Make that 6 goals, and he scored another game-winning goal. Insane. Like, how does this happen? In that season, it looked like Derek Pouliot was finally becoming something. He was looking worthy of being the 8th overall pick. Unfortunately, that would be his best season, because after that, he never came close to his great season. After another year with the Canucks, he played for the Blues, then the Flyers, then the Golden Knights, was put on waivers, got picked up by the Kraken, then played for the Sharks, the Stars, and recently, the Lightning. And now, he has joined his 9th NHL team, the New York Rangers. He is considered a first-round bust. I mean, he can't return to form, but he's still really good in the minors. We can use him in the minors, and of course, if he lost a defender, we could use him. But it is insane that this man has scored 8 goals in the NHL. 6 of them being game winners. Incredible. The Rangers made another sign-in. This time they signed Taylor Raddysh to a 1-year deal. Drafted 58th overall with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2016, Raddysh started things off in the minors. He played pretty well and scored a point per game. He made his debut in 2021. He did well for the Lightning, but then at the trade deadline in 2022, he, along with Boris Tkachuk and 2 first-round picks, who would become Oliver Moore and Cole Eiserman, were traded to the Chicago Blackhawks for Brandon Hagel and 2 fourth-round picks. That trade worked out well for the Lightning as Hagel dominated with the Lightning. As for the Blackhawks, not as good as Hagel, but still not bad. Raddysh would thrive with the Blackhawks. His best season came in the 2022-23 season, where he scored 20 goals, 17 assists, and 37 points in 78 games. Sure, it was because the Blackhawks barely had any talent, but Raddysh was proving he can be more than a bottom sixer. But the next season, he went down back to his bottom 6 form. The Blackhawks would let him go, and he spent last season with the Washington Capitals. He is likely going to be a regular for us, so it likely means that Brett Bouchard is going to the minors, and he may likely steal a spot away from someone. I'd rather he stole Parsonen's spot, not Brzezinski. It is confusing that we got him despite having all the forwards we need. But hey, Raddysh can be something for us. Let's see where we can put him and see how it goes. And the Rangers made one last signing in free agency day. For now, the Rangers signed Trey Fix-Walensky to a 1-year deal. He was drafted 204th overall by the Columbus Blue Jackets in 2018. But despite being a 7th round pick, his career proved otherwise. After being drafted, Fix-Walensky put up 37 goals, 65 assists, and 102 points in 65 games in the WHL. And he scored 6 goals, 8 assists, and 14 points in 16 playoff games, going all the way to the conference finals. For a 7th round pick, that is impressive. So impressive that the Blue Jackets immediately signed him and he immediately played in the minors. He was fantastic in the minors, so much so that he got called up. In the NHL, he didn't do too much. His best came 2 seasons ago, where he scored 2 goals, 1 assist, and 3 points in 11 games. Not too special, but in the minors, he was an absolute beast. His best season happened in the 2022-23 season, where he scored 29 goals, 42 assists, and 71 points in 61 games. Really good, but what makes this better is that after he left for the Rangers, he left as the Cleveland Monsters' all-time leader in goals, assists, and points. This man was a legend in Cleveland. Getting a really good 7th round pick is one thing, but to get the whole team leader in scoring, that is a massive steal. And if he continues to play better and converts that in the NHL, he would join the list of great 7th round picks, along with Henrik Lundqvist, Joe Pavelski, Andre Palat, Patrick Hornquist, and so much more. He is going to contribute a lot to the Wolfpack. I can't wait to see what he does. Just when I thought the offseason was done, the Rangers made more signings. The Rangers signed Justin Dowling to a 2-year contract. Okay. Undrafted, Dowling spent most of his career with the Dallas Stars. Although he mostly spent it in the minors, he was really good in the minors. His best season in the minors was in the 2014-15 season, where he scored 24 goals, 26 assists, and 50 points in 65 games. He's pretty much a top 6 forward in the minors. After that, he played 2 seasons with the Vancouver Canucks, and then he played the past 2 seasons with the New Jersey Devils. Again, in the minors, but last season, things were different. He impressed the Devils this past season, so much so that in the second half of the season, he became a regular. He ended up playing his best season, scoring 2 goals, 5 assists, and 7 points in 52 games. And now he's with the Rangers, when we already have all the centers we need. More than plenty. I mean, Dowling can contribute with the Hartford Wolfpack. That's at least something. Remember Brendan Brisson? He needs a new contract. And we did give him a new contract. It's like, we extended Brendan Brisson to another year. It's like he did well for the Wolfpack. Sure, he has a down year in the minors this past season, but he can definitely help with the Wolfpack. Maybe he could make an appearance for the Rangers. But there's still one thing left to do. We still had free agents to extend. We still have to extend Dylan Garand. He's the type of goalie we cannot lose. But we waited for a month, and on August 17th, the Rangers made the last move. 2 of them. The Rangers have extended Dylan Garand and Tylan Boko for another year. Another year in the minors. If that wasn't great enough, it gets even better. Louis Domingue has left for the KHL, which means that Dylan Garand is now the main goalie for the Hartford Wolfpack. Although he has ever since Domingue struggled last season in the minors. Which means if something goes wrong for Igor or Quick, Garand will be the main guy to call up. Hopefully he can finally make his NHL debut for this upcoming season. If not, he will definitely be the next backup when Quick leaves or retires. But Boko has been good too, so for the Wolfpack, Dylan Garand will be the main guy, Boko would be the backup. But that is it. The off-season is over for the Rangers. So all the moves are done, and we're a few weeks away from a new hockey season. So we pretty much have an idea of what to expect for the Rangers. We pretty much got the projected lineup. For the first line, it will be Will Cooley, JT Miller, and Mika Zibanejad. I definitely would have preferred Gabriel Perreault to be there, but still interested there. And then the second line will be Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck, and Lafreniere. It was there most of the time. Hopefully that line can be good again. Third line is projected to be Gabriel Perreault, Juuso Parssinen, and Johnny Brodzinski. Definitely not what I have in mind. I expected the third line to be Brennan Hoffman, Mika Zibanejad, and Johnny Brodzinski, but still an interesting one. And then the fourth line is Adam Edstrom, Sam Carrick, and Taylor Radish. Though I would have preferred Matt Rempe over Taylor Radish, but we know Rempe is going to be an extra. Same for Brennan Hoffman and Justin Dowling. Now defense, I already knew was gonna happen. The first pair would be Vasov Gavrikov and Adam Norris Fox. That's definitely gonna be very exciting and definitely upgrade. The second pair, though I'd rather it be the third pair, is Carson Soucy and Will Borgen. They played together in Seattle, so that lineup could work, especially since they both suck. Then the third pair, which should have been the second pair, will be Earl Vakanainen and Braden Schneider. And for the extra defense, it'd definitely be Scott Morrow and Matthew Robertson and Derek Pouliot. And of course, the main goalie is Igor Shesterkin, and the backup is Jonathan Quick. And then we have the third guy, Dylan Garand, and the fourth guy, Talon Boko. But that is pretty much it. The Rangers sucked last year. With new coaching staff and better players and better defense stuff, hopefully next season we'll bounce back and be good again. Whether or not we make another deep run is yet to be determined, but we have a chance to go back and do great. Can't wait for another season of hockey, Rangers. Hold up. Wait a minute. I'm not done yet. Just when I thought that the video was done and everything, more things have happened recently. And there's actually one thing that I forgot to mention in the first recording, so there's two more things that the Rangers did. Both of them involving professional tryouts. And they're familiar names too. The first person the Rangers signed to a professional tryout is Connor Sheary, an undrafted player. Sheary had an interesting college career. He played in the University of Massachusetts Amherst of the Hockey East, and he did so well that he was signed by the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he started in 2013. And he produced 11 points in 15 games in the playoffs, with 6 goals and 5 assists. And he continued to do well in the minors. That 2 years later, he would sign with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And it just so happened to be in 2015. He got 7 goals, 29 assists, and 36 points in 30 games in the minors. And then he got called up for 44 games, where he scored 7 goals, 3 assists, and 10 points, which is not really a lot. But then the playoffs came, and he did well in the playoffs. He got 4 goals, 6 assists, and 10 points in 23 playoff games. And he helped the Pittsburgh Penguins win back-to-back Stanley Cups. And speaking of the back-to-back Stanley Cup, the next season, when the Penguins won the Cup for the second year in a row, happened to be Sherry's best season, as he scored 23 goals, 30 assists, and 53 points in 61 games. He pretty much played on the second line with Evgeny Malkin and also Chris Kunitz. And Sherry looked exciting. It was definitely going to be a top 6 potential. However, he didn't go nowhere close. I mean, like, his seasons come after that are decent, but not as good as the 16-17 season. In 2018, Connor Sherry and Matt Hunwick were traded to the Buffalo Sabres for a 4th-round pick, which cleared, and they did it as a cap dump. He did well with the Sabres, but again, not as good as his second season with the Penguins. And speaking of the Penguins, in the middle, at the trade deadline in the 1920 season, he would return to the Penguins, barely doing much this time around. Then after that, he played 3 years with the Washington Capitals from 2020 to 2023. After that, he would go play for the Tampa Bay Lightning for 3 years and $6 million, which is a bit much, but it should have been okay. However, things didn't go well in Tampa Bay. As his first season, he got 4 goals, 11 assists, and 15 points in 57 games, which is decent. But this past season, he did nothing with the Lightning. After 5 games, he was put on waivers and no one picked him up. He would then play in the minors, where he actually did good. As he not only he did good, but it was the best of his AHL career, as he got 20 goals, 41 assists, and 61 points in 59 games. And his time in the Lightning was so bad that the Lightning have bought out the final year of his contract. So he's gonna play in the preseason for the Rangers. Sure, he's likely not gonna make it, but I at least hope he can put him in the minors. He can definitely be useful. That move was made like a month ago. But for this next one, it just happened like a day or two ago. The Rangers gave a professional tryout to Andre Schuster. Yeah, Schuster is coming back again. An undrafted player like Connor Sherry. This is actually the first time he came to the Rangers. He's participated in the development camps of the Lightning, the Penguins, and the Rangers. And after completing his junior season at Omaha, he would play for the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is where he spent most of his career. And at the start of it all, he looked good. He was a very decent defenseman. His best season was in the 2015-16 season, where he scored 4 goals, 17 assists, and 21 points in 77 games. And he nearly won a cup with the Lightning in 2015, but they lost to the Blackhawks. And after 6 seasons with the Lightning, he played for the Anaheim Ducks. But then, ever since he left the Lightning, things weren't looking so well. He did nothing in 5 games, then would go to the minors. And then after 1 season, he would go to play with the Cleveland Red Star for 2 years. And then he decided to make his NHL comeback with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It didn't work out, and then he'll make a return to the Ducks again, which also didn't work out. Then he will play in the minors for the Minnesota Wild, and then was traded by the Wild to Anaheim again for John Klingberg. He would then get traded to the San Jose Sharks for Andrew Agozzino, but nobody signed him, so he would once again go and play in a different league. He played with the DEL, and then he played in HC Dynamo Perodus of the Czech Republic, and then he finished the rest of the season in Finland. So now he's pretty much is playing with the Rangers. Again, he's definitely not making the team, but I kind of hope he makes the minors like Connor Sheary. So now we can say that's all the moves that the Rangers made. It's like we're almost a week away from preseason hockey. I can't wait for a new hockey season.